Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 15 articles ready to discuss about 7 to 8 topics in this video. The first one, we're going to talk about a massive Ukrainian drone attack on Russia. And according to Russians, they destroyed more than 100 drones over its territory. Second, the Ukrainians report that they were successful in destroying about 50 Russian drones plus some missiles launched overnight. Today is the 20th of October 2024. The next topic will show you the yesterday destruction caused by the Russian missiles and drones that the Ukrainians claim they downed. Remember, they say it was about, 100 drones. Out of 100, we downed about 40-some. 40-some disappeared. We don't know where they're at. About 5 decided to go for a walk in Belarus or something. The other ones, started doing something. They never hit targets head on. It's just the debris of the hit drones fall down, and then we have about thousands of Ukrainian consumers left without power. We're going to discuss that in the third topic for this video. Kyiv was also attacked by Russian drones, and again they destroyed all the targets, and we find out that a lot of regions in Kyiv area were affected by just debris, but that's thousands, tens of thousands. Well, these guys are telling us that North Korean troops are deployed and are about to deploy some more. So 11,000 were already deployed on Russian territory in Far East, and they're ready to be deployed to fight the Ukrainians in Ukraine war. These are the allegations, the reports, coming from two sources, which are the South Koreans, not credible. Why? They have, victory. Why? Because they're part of this North Korea, South Korea. And then you have the Ukrainians. This is like, let me bring the witness, my father here. But he's possibly a suspected accomplice to your little crime, alleged crime. I want my father to testify, and my brother. All my guys, I want them to. But hey, they are credible sources. So this is the intelligence from South Korea and Ukraine about these troops. Are they deployed? They're going to show us video evidence, and they are going to also tell us the motive why those troops are training at this point in Russia. And I will give you an analogy with a hotel. They have satellite images. I will show you those that North Koreans are training to go and fight in Ukraine. All right. We have even this Cuomo back in business. Why? Because I think that it is just a way of taking over the so-called alternative media by the dinosaurs from the paid media, by the, operatives. They got fired, but then they can't live without giving us information, and they are now infiltrating the alternative media promoted by the algorithm, and you're gonna have all these Cuomos, all these O'Reillys, all these Don Lemons, all these Megyn Kelly, all these guys who were on that media. Now they come and gonna take over. Why? Do you think it's just because they have a basis, like people who are gonna watch them? These guys have millions, tens of millions at their disposal. And I think it's just an infiltration. That's my opinion on that one. I call it opinion, not assessment. So, as a free person, I'm entitled to any opinion I can have. Baboonish as it could be, I'm entitled to one without repercussions or consequences, negative consequences. That's my opinion. We're going to discuss that one. Next one. Iran warns us, the United States of American people. Why? Because our government that we are supporting does some hanky-panky in the name of other interests next to Iran. So Iran warns the United States of America over Israeli strike. Good, you are exposed. We are exposed. Remember, it was not the Iranians coming here. It was these guys going over there. And if you give me the baboonish arguments coming from the legacy media, the corporate media, the media operatives, that, hey, we have to stop them over there, keep them over there, otherwise they will come here. Well, why don't they go to Romania? Never. Why didn't they go to, I don't know, to Bangladesh or, I don't know, Zimbabwe or North Korea? Why? We have some interest over there, and we did a lot of bad stuff in that area. Next one. We're going to talk about the alliance of the very good. And the alliance of the very good is in the process of defining its name, probably under the BRICS, not the bricks that you put in a wall, the BRICS Foundation. So what that's going to be? They are ready, I think, to announce that BRICS is the alternative bloc, formed legitimate bloc against the hegemony of the few countries in the West. And they're their owners. Because if you think that France, Germany, Great Britain, and the United States of America are just, they have their own interests as countries, we should benefit out of that. But I don't see the benefit when Iran threatens us, for instance. With good reason or with bad reason. That's up to you to determine that. I have my own assessment on those things. But nevertheless, it's a hegemony based on corporations and banking system. Global banking system. These guys are the ones. And the Russians and the Chinese and the rest of the world, which are about 188 countries. Let's put it this way, because we got the 4 plus a few other weasels that are yes sirs. BRICS seeks to rival Western power with high-profile summit. I think this is a good alternative. Why? You want competition, don't you? You don't want a monopoly. Or you want a monopoly in certain things, but in others you don't. Now, we're going to talk about the BRICS summit in Russia to determine future course of history. And they will create, the guys from BRICS, an alternative global financial system. You know what it is? As I said many times before, separate but equal. All right? You're just going to be, different. They're going to have separate institutions. You have your insurance companies for your little baboonish cargo ships, Russia, India, China, that you can't sanction. They will have theirs. Well, you have your SWIFT, the banking messaging app and so on. You can kick and blackmail and sanction whenever you want. They will form their own. You have your dollar to have these guys work with as a petrodollar. Those guys are going to say, no, we have our own currencies to work in, and we're going to pay for the oil and gas and resources, energy resources, with our currencies. You have your International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. We're going to have the BRICS Development Bank. Alternatives. And these guys are going to use from the pie, a big chunk of the world. BRICS has about 40% of the global economies. About 40%, if I remember correctly. They are almost the same. I think they surpassed the G7. They have like 37, and these guys have like 39 or something like this. So, is it good for us? We'll discuss that. And the last topic, there has been a leak, not that kind of leak, but it was an UK intelligence documents leaked on Telegram with the supposed plans or purported plans of Israel striking Iran. So someone leaked those documents. So what do you think will happen? Remember what happened to Julian Assange? Well, maybe that happens with Durov. But Durov cooperates fully. So these are the topics. Let's start with the beginning. We also have some, not some, but I think it's going to be, I'm going to use just one map to show you where these attacks occurred overnight. Let's start with the first topic. Russia Today, 20th of October 2024. Over 100 Ukrainian drones downed in Russia overnight, Ministry of Defense. 4 firefighters have been injured in an attack on Novgorod region, the local governor has said. Russian forces destroyed... What cat? Oh, just got in, obviously. So, more than 100 Ukrainian drones attempting to target facilities in several regions overnight, the defense minister in Moscow said on Sunday. The military thwarted, and I'm quoting, an attempt by the Kyiv regime to carry out a terrorist attack using an aircraft-type UAV against targets on the territory of the Russian Federation. Now, where did they launched towards? Air defenses intercepted or destroyed 110 UAVs, 43 of which were taken down over the Kursk region near the border. Kursk region, right here, near the border. So the big chunk of this, the biggest, I guess. Another 27 were destroyed over Lipetsk region, and then 18 over Oriol. So Lipetsk is here, Oriol is here, Moscow, if you go a little bit, right here. So far we have Lipetsk, Oriol, Kursk. Then we have 8 over Nizhny Novgorod region, and 7 and 6 UAVs respectively were destroyed over Belgorod and Bryansk. And 1 was downed over Moscow region. So Belgorod, Bryansk, and Novgorod. All right, so Bryansk is here, Belgorod over here, and Moscow obviously is in this area here. So this probably tried to reach there, nothing on a Kaluga and Tula, but in this area. All right, let's go to the next article. Sputnik. Russian air defense systems intercepted 110 Ukrainian drones overnight. So the same statement with all these 27, 43, 18, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go to see what the Ukrainians did to the, what the Russians did to the Ukrainians. Ukrainska Pravda, Sunday 20th, October 2024. Ukrainian air defense destroyed 31 of 49. Boo, that's a bad day. Launched by Russia overnight. So we'll see. 31 were destroyed, but from 31 to 49. So we're going to have about what? Let's say a dozen or so being probably just losing their way. Here is the evidence, as always, provided by the Ukrainians. You can see they're all down, destroyed, okay? Ukrainian air defense units have reported shooting down 31 Russian UAVs in an anti-aircraft operation as of the morning of 20th of October. The Russian targets were engaged over Vinnytsia, Khmelnytsky, Zhytomyr, Lviv, Odessa, Sumy, Poltava, Cherkasy, Kyiv, Mykolaiv, Dnipropetrovsk, and Donetsk Oblast. That is almost everywhere, right here. So Chernihiv, Kyiv, Cherkasy, Zhytomyr, Vinnytsia, Khmelnytsky, Lviv, right here, or Lvov, Dnipropetrovsk, this area. So I don't know, I say 80% of the Ukrainian territory. Another 13 Russian drones disappeared from radar. What they tell you? So you have what? 31, 41, 44. 44. Out of a total of 51 aerial targets were detected and tracked. 49 UAVs and 2 Iskanders. So you got what? About 5. You got about 5 UAVs that probably hit the target they don't know anything about, and 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles launched by Russian forces. The Russians launched UAVs from the cities of Yeisk and Primorsko-Akhtarsk, while missiles were fired from the occupied Crimea. So, UAVs, Yeisk and Primorsko-Akhtarsk. This is across from the Sea of Azov. Here is the Yeisk, right here, exactly there, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk is right here. So they were launched from these two sides here over the Sea of Azov, and the other, the missiles were launched from Crimean Peninsula. All right, let's go to the next article where these guys are going to tell us the destruction from the previous day. So you saw here how they reported that 4 drones, or 5, were, we don't know what happened to them, maybe something like that. 4, 5. They didn't say anything about the missiles, the 2 missiles, but we find out that yesterday, Ukrinform, this article is from today, but around dozen enemy drones downed overnight in Kyiv suburbs. So we're going to go to Kyiv. We're going to find out that this destroyed around a dozen, and then we're going to find out the over 62,000 consumers remain in blackout in Ukraine due to Russian shelling. And this is not only at the border area. They're going to tell us about Kyiv regions. So remember, this is the article from the 20th, today. Overnight, Ukraine's defense forces shot down about a dozen attacks, drones launched by the Russian aggressors over Kyiv and its suburbs. They were launched from the southern and northeastern directions, entering Kyiv in several waves. The air alert, threatened to, so far, no damage has been reported in the capital, and there has been no information about casualties either. Popko noted, adding that operational reports are being updated. Don't hold your horses, don't hold your breath. Tomorrow, we're going to find out something of this thing. Over 62,000 consumers remain in blackout in Ukraine due to Russian shelling. So let's look at the time. This is 3:20 p.m., so 15:20. The other article was what? 7:22 a.m. So according to 7:22 a.m. on today, there were no casualties, nothing happened. According to these guys at 3:20 p.m., as a result of shelling by the Russian forces, more than 62,000 consumers in 5 regions of Ukraine remain without electricity. 62,000 consumer is not 62,000 people. A consumer is a household. That's what it is. So and that's businesses and residential dwellings. So in this case, you have 62,000 consumers, could be 150,000 people. At least. Now you see how big that is or not. So they tell us, in Donetsk, we have 1,716 settlements. Then we have 50 settlements, power by morning, they restored some in Zaporozhye. We have 3,700 consumers without power in Kyiv. This is what we're talking about. Right here. 3,200 consumers in 5 settlements remain without power due to technical reasons. I don't know, something happened. Technical reasons. And we have here 130 settlements. 130 settlements, that's villages, towns, however you want to call them, cities. 14,100 consumers. 14,000 are out. And then they tell us, Sumy, these are border regions, okay? So Kharkiv, Kherson, again, and as reported during the past day, power has been restored for more than 78,000 consumers who were disconnected due to hostilities and technical issues. So, but hey, they are doing great in Kyiv, it seems like. Next article. Hoppa, Penelopa. Agence France Press. North Korea troops deployment locks in Russia military alliance. You bet. And whose fault that is? Whose fault is that these guys locked in an alliance? It's just because bad people think alike, correct? And good people like us think alike, okay? That's why we flock together. However we want to call it. This is a direct consequence of lack of diplomacy abilities and willingness coming from the Americans. Not the Germans, not the baboons from Great Britain, not from the French. These are just crumbs. I'm talking about the big guy, which is the United States of America, not Biden, remember? And 10% for the big guy. Where is that at? It died. We don't know anything about it anymore. So it's a direct consequence because the United States of America, as I said many times before, and I will continue to say it, after 1991, after the agreement between the evil communists and the good capitalists, they decided to, we realized overnight that it's better to be democratic countries and capitalist countries. They just decided, and they just gave away, power. The leaders, the evil leaders in the communist countries. You believe that one? And we outspent them. We broke Soviet Union economically. Another BS that these guys are with everything. This much that was an understanding. And in certain countries like Romania, it was a direct coup. organized by internal, domestic spies and everybody around, including Soviet Union or Russia, however you want to consider it. At that time, it was Soviet Union and the United States of America and many other interests. I mean, if you still think that it was just a spontaneous Romanian uprising, and if you are past, I don't know, 18 years of age, anyway. So the Americans after 1991 remained the only superpower, clearly. They could fuck up China at that point, take all those, investments over there and technology, and China would have been much down there. The same with India. But no, these guys said, oh, you made the money here, we're going to send the money and the capital wherever they want. I mean, why not? And your economy became a service economy, and those economies became a manufacturing economy. And they say, hey, that's fine. We just print dollars. We give those guys, I was about to say something. We give those guys the dollars. Those guys will need the dollars to buy, only with dollars, petroleum, oil, right? And then, therefore, they're going to need that to support their economies or industries. They will build stuff for us to sell it to us, and they will give them numbers and printed money. So they need our dollars if they want to, sell their stuff to us. And they need, because we have a big market here. So, and then they said after 1991, they had a chance, these guys, to say, okay, we are the city on the hill, we are fantastic. Oh, well, you are, but you fucked up. Those guys took the rug after your feet just like that, and they said, no, now it's time to listen to those guys in the Middle East and take care of those guys. And it pop, Saddam, and because they attacked us, and because they hate our freedoms. That was the justification. It's so baboonish, man. And then these guys did not use diplomacy. The Americans look at the diplomacy toolbox that they used to have up till 1991 and say, we take conversations out, we take flair out, we take flexibility out, we take debate out, and we live in, what do we live? We live threats, blackmail, regime change, and direct bombardment or invasion. And they use this since 1991 till they're still in the process of doing it, and they will continue to do that. And the Russians and these guys in the meantime got bigger and stronger, and now they have alliances. Direct consequence of these guys who are very limited in their worldview. They thought that they will destroy these guys, and they lacked that abilities. Miscalculation, or maybe they thought this is going to be the normal course of humanity. We can't stop them, so we're gonna just get our corporations and banks fatter. North Korean troops deployment locks in Russia military alliance. Next one. Video appears to show North Korean soldiers gearing up for Ukraine war at the Russia military training base. My first question, how do you know that those North Korean soldiers that are in Far East Ukraine are gearing up for Ukraine war? How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? And could it be possible that those guys are just training? It's like right now you would have, Romanian military, which, trains in Germany. Does it mean that those guys are training in Germany to be deployed into Ukraine? Is there could be, but where's the evidence? Do you have it, or you just say it? So they make this big lying lip, right? From they are over there to necessarily they're going to be deployed to Ukraine. What else could it be? Maybe they have some understandings, some agreements in training, cooperation, drills. No, it's not possible. No, because these guys want to push that. Why? So they can say, if those guys are over there, then NATO could provide with Romanian troops, Polish troops, not too many Baltic states troops, because they are 6.1 billion people anyway. So, you fart and you blow them into the Baltic Sea, the whole three countries together. That's the population of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. 6.1 million people. And they're out. There doesn't have to be like there's a wet fart. And it's going to be, or woo! All right, only the Russians will remain in Estonia. 24% of the Estonian population is ethnically Russian. So they will be very well anchored when these guys are going to. So these guys go directly to, I saw the video, there are some Asian looking people over there. I mean, is it politically incorrect to say that the North Koreans look differently than the Norwegian or a baboonish Romanian born, right? So genetically Romanian, which okay, that's many things in there, including. All right, so what do we have? They show this video with these guys getting some clothes, and it's necessary gearing up for Ukraine war. There's no evidence, and I'm going to give you an analogy about that one. Business Insider: satellite images show North Korean special forces sent to Russia disguised as Russian soldiers with fake IDs, South Korean spies says. Holy fuck, we have so much to unpack here. So, yes, there are North Korean troops training in Russia. Yeah, that's true. Remember, this video that these guys showed here, I can't show it here. This video that shows this North Koreans getting, it's not like from the hip or from the button. The video is like a video. So who did this? If you want to keep this secret, they don't, because these guys don't tell you. Probably those guys are not ready to go to Ukraine, or maybe they are, but I don't know. But they know. Why? Because they want to make that connection. So this article where they say that North Korean forces sent to Russia disguised, they're not disguised, because right here you have them on video. They didn't even hide that. That doesn't come from the infiltrated CIA operative in the North Korean military or the Russian, military base. No, it's from them. They do it. There's not this guy. And then, as Russian soldiers, yeah, Russian soldiers, with fake IDs. Now, first, fake IDs. This tells the same story I've been telling about the volunteers that show up in Ukraine. Remember, I told you this many times, and I think they're the volunteers. Many of the volunteers fighting in Ukraine are not volunteers, are NATO troops. Exactly what I've been saying many times. They show with the units, they sign a little thing. We're not in the US military today anymore. I'm just going to give you an example. Not in the US military. We come as a unit with a commander. Today we're not in the US military, today. And then we take our uniforms, military uniforms out. We put the Ukrainian volunteers. We take pictures, right underneath volunteer, Tom Jones, put it over here in case I will be, okay? When the Russians find me, see, they're volunteers. That's the evidence. And they go and enter Ukraine, fight whomever escapes after they go their little round over there. They come back to Poland. They take this off. They sign a new agreement with the one that they signed off. Now they sign back on, and they go back and they're on the streets in the United States of America. I said this many times. Just maybe. And these guys say, no. North Koreans are doing that with the Russians, and you're not. Why? Because we won't do that. We will not do that. We will not lie to you, as we didn't with Saddam Hussein weapons of mass destruction, and not only with the Gulf of Tonkin and many other crimes. With Cambodia, with Laos, we were bombarding it, and the media here was. Okay, and many other things that were lies, demonstratively lies. So again, and then who says that? South Korean spy agency. As I said, it's like I'm accused of something, and I use the alibi. I don't know, my mom or my dad or my girlfriend or something like this. I mean, it's very suspicious, don't you think? North Korea and South Korea are about to go to war, and these guys are giving us the information. It's possible, 100%. Probable, you need more evidence to support those allegations or statements. Next one, look at this one. Satellite captures North Korean troops moving into Russia for Ukraine war. This is according to New Voice of Ukraine. How do you know they are for the Ukraine war? Do they have orders written? They make up. I can make up orders how many I want. I can give you signatures and stamps if I want. You can make that. And I'm going to give it to you right here. This is signed by General Chong Kompong. And Chong Kompong, right here on the date on Bing Bang Boong. And here's the stamp on Klong Klong Klong. Here it is. Evidence. Confidential information. How I got that document, I can't tell you. Yet. No, I can't. Jesus Christ. But they already know those are for the Ukrainian war. Is it possible? 100% possible. But I don't like this big leap from that to directly. It's the intent. They know the intent as well. Let me go about, how many more articles? 2 more articles, and then I'm going to give you this analogy with this kind of BS. So we got the operative here, Cuomo, who's back in business. How can you trust this guy when he lied? How? I mean, really. I'm talking about the vaccine, about Joe Rogan's, whatever, the horse medication and so on. This guy right here, how much garbage he said. And now he has his news nation. And he's doing better than others. And this guy's, look at it, he's serious. Fuck off. North Korean troops readying for Ukraine combat. There you go. South Korea says that because they have the information and you trust them, right? Then because they don't have an interest. You always have, how do you call it? Flimsy, it's a term, I can't remember the name. Not trustworthy witnesses. It's a word, I can't remember it right now. When you have a witness and it's, it has an interest somewhere, so you can't give too much weight to what they say because that person might have had an interest into reporting what they report. It doesn't mean that they cannot report what's accurate or what's true, but you look at that a little bit, okay, yeah, I need a lot of evidence from you, not just saying it. And so far we have 2 countries that say that, Ukraine and South Korea. So these guys are in it. They are gonna benefit if that's true. Don't you think it could be a conspiracy? I think so. Could it be real? I think so too. That's why I need evidence. Not the satellite. Again, I don't have a problem with the satellite images. Confirm deployment of North Korean troops to Russia. I agree with that. But what do we have down here? And I'm going to show you. Where is that? Right here. At the same time, the Pentagon says the US is yet to verify reports of North Korean soldiers being deployed to support Russia in its war effort against Ukraine. Not that I trust the Pentagon, but even the Pentagon yet verified or confirmed or said anything that these deployed Korean or North Korean soldiers are there to support Russia in its war effort. That's correct. And then you have Ukraine Defense Intelligence. The Ukrainians said earlier that 11,000 North Korean, not 11,001, no, 11,000 exactly, soldiers are now undergoing training in Russia, set to be ready for a combat deployment within 2 weeks on the Ukrainian front. They didn't say that here. So let me give you this analogy to see how baboonish it is. Let's say you see me walking into a hotel, all right? What do you think I'm doing in that hotel? Well, if you are, let's say, my girlfriend or my wife, and you, where the fuck is this guy going to, motherfucker? You think I'm going for a, correct? Correct. Can you blame that? No, but she is in that kind of frame of mind, right? But let's say you are, a boss, a guy that you work with. What is Emil doing here? Is he attending a conference or something here at their little conference center? Is he gonna go and use the swimming pool? Is he gonna meet someone for? There's many other options. You assume based on your worldview and your interest. So just because I walk into a hotel building, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go over there, get a room, and fuck a few African American ladies. No, it's not. Young and old. Legal age, okay? So, please, my friends, the same here. They immediately say, that must be for that. You don't know what I'm doing in that hotel. Man, I'm going to go and eat at the restaurant. Maybe I'm going to meet some business partner. Maybe I'm going to meet, my Russian, the guy that, oh, thank you very much. Here is the briefcase. Well, the dollars, or no, not rubles? Oh, fuck that. Go. All right? So that's the thing with North Korea. Next one. Iran warns United States of America. Russia today. Iran warns US over Israeli strike. Those with knowledge of the plans will be held accountable for a potential attack, Tehran has said. So that is, if the United States have knowledge about the Israeli attack and the plans, will be held accountable. What does that mean? That means this. I'm fighting this guy, and then he's that guy, and that guy knows and helps this guy. That means you, when I'm done with this guy, I'm gonna punch you in the face as well. That's you and I. Why? Our government tells us that those guys are bad, and those guys in the Middle East, that country, tells us that we have to fight those, expose our children, our nation, our future for them. Since these guys are our elected officials, they will do what we want them to do. But you have the media that gives the baboons not only the information those guys from that little thing over here in the Middle East gives them, okay, no conspiracy here. Just look around. And the easiest way is to find out the connection between NGOs, about businesses, about people, and you want to find out no connection. So let's see what these guys are saying. Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has warned that it will view the US as complicit if Israel follows through on its threat to carry out a major strike on the Iranian Republic. That's you and I, not Biden and Kamala and those baboons. They will not be hit. You and I possibly will be sitting ducks. On Friday, US President Joe Biden was asked by journalists if he had a quote-unquote good understanding of what Washington's closest Middle East ally, there's no ally, I think that's an owner, might do in retaliation to the Iranian missile barrage on October 1, and whether Israel, and I'm quoting, will actually respond to Iran. Biden replied by saying yes and yes, but declined to provide further details. Araghchi, Jesus Christ, took to X on Saturday to stress that, and I'm quoting, anybody with knowledge or understanding of how and when Israel was going to attack Iran or providing the means and backing for such folly should logically be held accountable for any potential casualty. Well, this guy is talking about logic with these guys in charge of us. Are you crazy? The Western civilization is going down because those guys don't even know what it is. But they immediately remember it when it's in their own interest. It's not logical. When it's in their own interest. When it's not, then everything, any illogical situation could become logical and vice versa according to their interest. That tells me they're not honest. But hey, we have interest. Well, you have interest, but there's still some rules of communication, of negotiation. No, we don't have those. These guys are talking about the rules-based global world, rules-based world order. Okay, you know what it is. So let's talk about BRICS being probably now in Kazan, Russia, where the BRICS member states and the leaders are going to be about 2 dozens of countries over there with their prime ministers and presidents. These guys, I think, will come with a statement. They will clearly solidify the idea that we are a new alternative for the world. I mean, it's obvious by their behavior, by their actions, but none of them said it clearly like now in this article that I'm going to discuss. Russia Today. BRICS to discuss new global financial system. Got that? Why? Because the West doesn't have the hegemony. No. An alternative scheme developed by Moscow will reportedly work around dollar transactions in international payment operations. That means when these guys here want you to do something that you don't want, they cannot make you as they used to through the threats and blackmail. They have to try a regime change or an active bombardment. Regime change is going to be harder, and bombardment will be harder. Why? Because the other club will protect them militarily. So what are you going to do? It's going to be harder to say, you do this? No. Then I'm going to blackmail you. I'm going to threaten you with these sanctions. And you do it like before, like you tried to Russia, and Russia approved. No, everything ricocheted. Russia is to present its proposal for a new international financial system to fellow BRICS nations at the group's summit next week, Reuters has reported, citing documents distributed by Moscow to journalists ahead of the event. That's clear. The system is believed to be immune to Western sanctions and could put an end to the dominance of the US dollar in international exchange and transactions, the news agency said. According to the report, the new payment platform is based on blockchain technology and uses digital tokens backed by national currencies of participating countries. So I don't celebrate that. If I as a selfish American, that works against my interest. When that happens, we got to start working and making stuff. Not only massage each other's cocks or something. We can't do that anymore because they can do it on their own. So we can't blackmail them. We can't make them come and get our printed dollars to do stuff for us. We have to make them on our own. What are you going to give those guys? Because eventually it's like this. We meet, let's say you're Albania, I'm United States of America, and I say, okay, I want let's say you build, Albania, you build mouses. Right? So I want your mouse, but I'm going to give you in return, I'm going to give you some, I don't know, some movies. Movies? I don't know, I want cars. But we don't build any more cars. I'm just exaggerating, We don't build any more cars. Well, then fuck off. I'm going to get the cars from, I don't know, China. And I will not have this. And you're going to get the cars from, and you're going to go to another country that produces this, and which is in the same boat. It's not the Brits, it's not the Germans, it's not the French who make this. It's those guys, the developing countries that make this. Why? Because of the capital and the technology stolen from the United States of America, the industrial nations that used to be, and transferred by these criminals, with Bill Clinton being globalization, NAFTA, let them go. In South Korea, I have to remind you, I think it was in the 1970s, when they had an economic boom. Part of the economic boom was because the South Korean government imposed death penalty, if I remember correctly, for certain kind of amount of capital that was produced in South Korea that was transferred outside. So let's say you're a South Korean company and you produce 100% of your capital there. You can take only 20% of that capital and, let's say, invest it outside and leave the 80 here. The American says, no, you take whatever you want. You take it to Mexico, Malaysia, China, wherever. Give the technology, give everything over there. It's going to be stolen anyway. I don't think that would be hard. But you learn. It's not that the Chinese could not have come with this on their own. It would have taken time. With many things, if you just bring the technology, this is the way you do it, okay, pack, the next day you can start, catch up until you get closer, and then you're going to be, now let's see who's who and what's what. And that's about the place over there right now in China, and not only. So these guys are going to give this alternative. So we have to start producing. We can't just jerk off and come over here for some massages or some tanning or garbage like this. We have to produce to give them something back. What will they give back? I tell you why. Weapons. But wait, those countries will need Russia's and China's weapons against our pounding. So they will not buy ours. We're not going to send them weapons. We don't send Erdogan, Turkey, NATO country member. Why? Because Erdogan is not nice. He didn't do what these guys told him to do. So he said, I'm going to buy, S-400s. Why? Because it was about some air defense systems, American air defense systems. The Americans really did not want to sell it to Turkey. And they said, well, you got to pay this much. And Erdogan said, no. All the other countries are paying this much. Well, you're going to pay this much. And say, no, it's too much. I'm going to buy it from the Russians. You can't. And he did. This guy started the development of 35, the program, expanding the program of F-35s into Turkey. And they gave him F-16s, ancient dinosaurs. So let's move on. I can talk about this more and more, my friends. I just give you little pieces of information you can go and expand if you don't know these things yet. Agence France Presse. Putin seeks to rival Western power with high-profile summit. No, this is the consequences of your lack of diplomatic abilities. You said that with punching people in the face will work forever, and it didn't. But that's the way they're portrayed. Now, BRICS summit in Russia to determine future course of history. You see? Meow. The cat is again back in business here. What do you want? I know what you want. He wants to go outside. I go with Meow Meow outside every day, 2 times a day. And I use a leash, long leash, because I have a string attached to its leash, and it accepts the leash, and I run around the chest. And we can go, 50 feet. If he goes over there, I just release the and so on. Very, very, very smart cat, very good cat, very immediately learned, immediately understands the boundaries. So he wants to go outside. So now he's going to be meowing here and giving me the tail around my nose to make sure that we're going to go outside. And we're going to go, but hey, I've got many other things to do here. So it's true. BRICS summit in Russia to determine future course of history. I totally agree. And people say here, that's going to rival the elections in the United States of America. I don't think that's anything right here. And will overshadow the upcoming US presidential election. I think so, because we lose importance because we assumed something we did not have. A position that we thought we were going to grab, but we used the wrong methods, which is, it doesn't work, my friends, like that all the time. Let's see what the purported leak of US intelligence documents appear to show Israel plans to attack on Iran. So remember what the Iranian, where is that? When the Iranian foreign minister, was he? Yeah, said, those with knowledge of the plans will be held accountable. And what do we have over there? Where is that? Right here. Purported leaked US intelligence documents appear to show Israel's plan for attack on Iran. It's not going to say here anything about what targets. It just said that these guys are all, oh my God, we are looking into these reports. And they are going to, I'm going to find out, I'm going to show you who are the guys that these guys are going to screw up. The US is investigating an unauthorized release of classified documents on Israel attack plans. And we have here the evidence. A Telegram group posted what it called highly classified US documents about Israel attack plans. And somewhere, I think it was the other document, the other article, somewhere here it says that we are going to do something about it, obviously, because this cannot, we cannot allow that to happen. And where is that? I'm going to show you. I have to show you because it's very, we're going to look at this, pop. If the post proved authentic, it would signify a major intelligence breach, one reminiscent of the massive leak discovered last year after hundreds of classified documents were shared on the Discord social media platform. What happened to the guy? Earlier this year, U.S. Air National Guardsman Jack Teixeira pleaded guilty to 6 counts of willful retention and transmission of national defense information related to the Discord leaks. Right? So what they're going to do? They're going to go, it's a serious breach, they're going to go after, where is that? Telegram, that allowed its publishing. That's what's going to be. They're going to say, oh, remember Wikileaks? Wikileaks just got information and released it. Therefore, Assange was a political prisoner. Right? And they try to take care of him. So now you're going to Telegram that's going to publish, allowed, the group posted on Telegram. So what do you think this guy's going to say? See, Telegram is Wikileaks. Assange is Durov. And we're going to close Telegram. Good job, my friends. We're going to impose sanctions that the Telegram will not be able to operate. And we're going to be able to take our information from Chris Cuomo and CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and O'Reilly and Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro and Prager Group and all these guys. These guys are going to give us all the information we need. All right? Not Candace Owens. Candace Owens they will take care of Candace. I like Candace Owens a lot. I'm sorry that she got entangled with the Eye of Sauron. She got burned, I would say, by Shapiro and company. And now she talks, see, I can't tell you to tell that, okay, about what's going on and who's who, what's what. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.